Hi, it's Penny Black and Jill Foster here for your next PB&J card class. And today I'll be using a new Penny Black stamp called With Flourish to create some miniature shaped cards that feature a three-dimensional frame. So here's a look at that pair of cards. And I've also paired them with Flower Festival, a clear set. That's the flower that's on the cards. So to begin, I'm going to take this cling stamp with Flourish. I'm going to put that on my acrylic block. And then I'm going to be inking this with Versamark ink and stamping it onto white cardstock. I'm just making sure to cover the entire stamp, and then I'll stamp straight down onto the white cardstock. And now I'm going to use pan pastels to apply the color. So anytime you stamp with the Versamark, you can go ahead and apply the pan pastel onto the top, and wherever you've stamped will be just a little bit darker. So I'm covering that entire sheet and going beyond the edge of the stamping so that when we cut the frame it will all have the color. And you get such a beautiful impression with this technique, and also a great tone-on-tone look. So I'm going to continue this with a couple other colors. So following that same technique, starting with the Versamark ink, and then stamping onto the white cardstock, and then applying the pan pastel. Now you could apply a fixative. I like to use Krylon matte fixative spray with this so that the pan pastel doesn't rub off once you're finished with your project. But I found, since I only put on one layer, after a couple of minutes it didn't seem to rub off at all, so I didn't spray mine with a fixative. You could also apply multiple colors of the pan pastel if you wanted sort of a multicolored frame. And then finally here, I'm going to mix a couple of colors to get a nice turquoise. So you can kind of go into one color and go into another, and kind of mix those right on there. And when you're done, once you just smooth that out with a clean sponge or even a soft paper towel, it won't cause any contamination to the color. And I just kind of go back and forth between the two to get the color that I would like. Now I'll show you how to cut this out. So this coordinates with Spellbinder's Label 16. So I'm taking two of those dies, and I'm actually going to use just a little bit of washi tape to hold those down. So I'm just going to position the outer die around the outside of the image. And then I'm going to take the smaller one, put that on the inside. And then again use that washi tape to hold that down. And then I'm just going to run this through my die cutting machine just like this. So when you're done, you just peel up that tape, and then take off the die, and you have your frame. So I'm going to use this on a card, but it's also really great for scrapbooking as well. So now just to edge that frame, I'm using brushed corduroy distress ink on the foam applicator tool, and I'm just kind of lightly patting that around the edges. And this just gives a nice finished look to the frame. And then I'm also carefully doing that on the inside. And then if you have any areas where the tape kind of pulled up some of that pastel, just went right back over it with pan pastel. So now here I'm going to make this into like a mini shaped card. So I'm going to take another piece of white cardstock that was die cut with the Spellbinder's Label 16, and I'm just going to score that. I did it about an inch down from the very highest peak. And I'm going to apply my adhesive right on above that score line. And now I'm taking another piece that was die cut with that same size and adhering that down. So now we have the hinge to our card, and we can add our frame using the dimensional adhesive. So I'm just going to put that onto the back of the frame and then mount it onto the card. So once that's ready to go, I'll just mount that onto the card. Everything will line up perfectly. So I'm going to add just a flower from Flower Festival that I stamped onto pattern paper and cut out and applied just a little bit of coloring with Copic markers. And I'm just going to slide that right inside the frame with part of it, the stem going down under the frame and the flower extending beyond. You could also add a small photo or anything personal to create a personalized card. Thanks so much for watching. For details and more information, visit www.pennyblackinc.com.